Let's start one off. If we got a good audio, we'll see. Get a little audio test here. Make sure everybody's getting the audio nice and clear. Don't see anybody in chat yet. Let's just go ahead and play a tune and sounds great. Okay, there it is. All right, sounds good. Let's play one. I hadn't played this one in a while. Let's see if we got it here. Let's try it. Yeah, okay, cool. Nice little jam to start off today. Woo! A lot of stuff, a lot of notes in that, a lot of shameless overplaying, right? No problem with it. I am using the Axe Effects today, and getting it dialed in sounds pretty good, you know? This is the FM9. Yeah, it sounds nice, right? What's that lick? What was that? like something like that, right? Yeah. Cool. Let's dig in. Holy macaroni, what a week. This is the first Woodshed or the first episode live here, live stream since Woodshed. And Woodshed was amazing. We got these little beauties now, which is a delight. The store will be popping up soon and having more stuff like this on here. And this is the new record. Hope everybody's digging it. Let's talk about the music industry. First of all, Woodshed was amazing. That is a delight. Did a race gig with Gary LaVox, but I didn't have as an eventful week as some other folks in the music industry. First up, Jane's Addiction. Wow. If you've kept up with pop culture and pop news and rock and roll, Jane's Addiction had a altercation on stage. That is, I have to say this too. I'm going to take a little minute here just to really brag on Dave Navarro. I have always looked up Dave Navarro as a player, as a songwriter, a great soloist, great rock rhythm player, funky, could step into the Chili Peppers gig and give us songs like Airplane. You know, I was like, wow, man, that's in and of his skill set and his legacy. My favorite Jane's record is Strays, believe it or not. I think that record is so good. And they had an altercation on stage, and I don't know the ins and outs, and I'm not here to spread gossip, but I can tell you from the videos that we all saw, you know, Perry needs some assistance. He's got either simple anger management issues. The reason I say that is because if you're too loud and you're not on in-ears, that's a decision you're making to absorb that stage volume. You should be on in-ears if your band's going to rock. And also, if you have an issue, you shouldn't take it out on stage to the fans and let the fans suffer and not get their show. So that's why I say there's anger management issues. He's not able to funnel whatever issue he's got into a healthy discussion. From there, let's talk about Dave Navarro playing the solo to the song. I believe it was Ocean, and not the Zeppelin Ocean, the Jane's one. And he kept rocking, and Perry Farrell comes over to his side of the stage and gives him a shoulder bump, and Dave's kind of soloing and puts his hand up with the pick. You know, he's got the pick in his hand, kind of pushes him back while still soloing. Perry's getting in his face, and Dave's gotten the vibrato going on the like while he's kind of got him at bay, he's still committed to the vibrato in the left hand. So Dave, just a professional, just really cool. I mean, as if that guy needed any more cool factor. Dave Navarro can be being physically, aggravated while he's still committed to the vibrato of the solo. So I thought that was like bonus points of cool factor. I unfortunately saw the announcement that they will cancel the rest of the tour. I think that comes as no surprise. I hope that Perry gets whatever assistance he needs, whether it be a substance issue, mental health issue, anger management issue. I hope he gets the assistance he needs, right? Because that's the thing. That's really what it boils down to in this world. All we have are meaningful relationships, and obviously these guys have bled together for decades. So, for this altercation to come to a head and shortchange the fans of a tour, that's a bummer. Really, really sucks to see that. Okay, in other music industry news. Wow. P. Diddy arrested. I think this is going to it's going to knock the lid off some stuff. I have nothing to base it on. I don't work in that world. I don't work in the hip hop world. I work in the guitar kind of scene on on the instrumental side. Obviously, you guys know me for that, and pop country stuff, and session guy, sideman, and now I'm a solo thing. I don't work in hip hop. I have to preface that. But there's been so many online rumors and hearsay about these blackmail tapes and these crazy parties that Diddy would have and blackmail people with these videos and all this stuff. Man, it is all coming out. And I remember seeing a Cat Williams thing on TikTok, and Cat saying, Cat, the comedian, that, all this stuff, this is all going to come out. It's all going to, all the dirty laundry is going to be aired, Well, seeing Diddy in cuffs, shoo, I wonder what's going to happen now. I don't know if you guys keep up with any of that stuff or if that's just not on your radar. But I do. I try to keep a thumb on the entire industry if I can, crazy stuff there. The next thing that I saw that I want to get into is the Miley Cyrus lawsuit. So in 2013, Bruno Mars had When I Was Your Man. That was the single, right? So that's 2013. I think that's on the Unorthodox Jukebox. Shade Hope is saying, who is Diddy? Like Puff Daddy. Like, yeah, Sean Williams, right? Puff Daddy, right? All over the press is what Sacred City's saying. A lot of worse things we have to look out for than Diddy on the subway. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk about this Miley Cyrus thing, and then I'll jump into chat and we'll start going back and forth. Okay. The Bruno Mars record, first of all, is fantastic. That Unorthodox Jukebox. I think that's what it is. Got the gorilla on the cover. Let me just reference that to make sure that that is the correct name of the album. Docs. Is it Unorthodox Jukebox? Am I? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, this is 2013 record. This is 2012. Sorry, it's got the song "When I Was Your Man" on there, and that is a song that I think Miley Cyrus had some kind of association with her ex Hemsworth, not Thor, but the other one, Chris, I guess. I don't know these people. I'm not a celeb guy, but Miley is fantastic. I think she's a fantastic musician. I always love watching her New Year's Eve things because she has real band. Freaking Dolly Parton will come out with her. She always has really awesome guests, awesome musicians. She really surrounds herself with great players, and she'll do fun covers. So I'm a fan of like the current iteration of Miley Cyrus. I think she's out there singing Blondie songs, and she's got Stevie Nicks coming on stage. Like, I think she loves music and loves the legacy and the lore of music and the legends of music. I think she genuinely loves it. So she cuts this song, Flowers. Let me just verify that that's what that is. I want to make sure that that is the correct name of the song. I think it's called Flowers. Yeah, it is. And this song came out in 2023. So it came out last year. Now, this song has a very similar melodic structure and lyrical content to the Bruno Mars song, When I Was Your Man. The Bruno Mars song has the line, I should have bought you flowers and held your hand, should have gave you all my hours, right? Well, Miley's song is like an upbeat dance song, and she's basically saying, I can buy myself flowers, I can take myself dancing, basically like the middle finger. And I think that's Liam. Troy's like Liam. Yeah, Liam. Thank you. Basically, Miley did the song as an answer to the Bruno song. Okay. This is all relevant because now the Bruno Mars situation there was another songwriter, and I had it saved in my phone here. The other songwriter is Oh, I had it saved for a reason so I could find it. Okay, here it is. Yeah, here's the details. The other situation was, Bruno had the songwriting credits with another guy named Philip Lawrence. Okay, now Philip Lawrence sold. It looks like he sold his publishing and or his ownership to Tempo Music. Okay, Tempo Music, not Bruno Mars. So Bruno is not suing Miley Cyrus, but Tempo is suing because they bought this Philip Lawrence guy's slice of When I Was Your Man. Now, because there are so many melodic copies and melodic hooks of plagiarism, now I think Bruno was cool with it because let's all just look at this. This song has been out for a decade. Or sorry, that song is a decade old. Miley's had her song out for a year. There's been no battling, no instant lawsuits. If you guys recall when Coldplay and Joe Satriani had their settling out of court, that was handled really quick. Like Coldplay's song comes out, Satriani goes, you didn't say the magic word. And so they settle out of court. This has been happening with the Miley thing. That song's been out for like a freaking year, year and a half. Okay. So now we got to deal with this situation of this third party guy, this Philip Lawrence guy, selling his slice of his pub. I can imagine it's the pub or whatever ownership it may be. It now is sold to Tempo Music. I guess they're a holdings company, something to that effect. They're not a guy. It's not Mr. Tempo, right? So now they're coming with Miley guns hot. Lawsuit has been filed, and yeah, man, we have a real mess on that. So let's talk about the plagiarism aspects, the royalty aspects. I want to give you my thoughts on it. It's just my opinion. I want to know what you guys think. Please let me know in the chat, in the comments, what you guys think. My opinion is this. Miley did the song, and she didn't have any problem with Bruno. And when Tempo got a hold of the Philip Lawrence guy's ownership of the song, I would think that Miley employs managements and attorneys, has people on retainer. There's a miss of due diligence that happened to allow her to get caught. And I don't like the word caught, to allow her to get tangled up in this position. I don't think Miley maliciously, is plagiarizing. There's so many things that are in common with the song that it's intentional. It's like it is intentionally like that. If you notice, let me give you another example. Kid Rock's singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long. The song, whatever that summer long song is that Kid Rock has. That is clearly Sweet Home Alabama that's being sampled in there, and Werewolves of London. They're being sampled in that song. That is intentionally copied, plagiarized, tip of the hat, tribute, whatever you want to call that. That was all handled straight up, right? And Sting came after, ironically, making this a whole serendipitous live stream. Sting came after Puff Daddy, and it was like the Every Breath You Take sample. They settled out of court. Now Sting just gets paid. Sting just gets paid every time that is played somewhere, and it's a fat check. He talks about it, I think, in the Beato interview. I think it's where Sting mentions it. Okay, let's get back on topic here with Miley. My opinion of Miley is I don't think that she intentionally did wrong. I think there is a drop in due diligence on her legal team to not reach out to Tempo when this was when that purchase of Philip Lawrence's pub or whatever, his writer's credits, was sold. Miley's due diligence should have been like, hey, just so you know, we wrote this, and this is a thing that's on my radar. I'm getting a little echo, sorry. This needs to be handled out of court. Okay, so dude, my predictions, I think they will settle out of court. I don't think it'll get to the courtroom because I don't think Tempo wants to spend money on attorneys. I guarantee you Miley doesn't want to spend money on attorneys. Once things get into the courtroom, it just turns into lawyers only making the money. Okay, so that's my predictions on the Miley Cyrus thing. The Jane's Addiction thing is just swirling around all over my radar. And then Puff Daddy and or Diddy is now arrested. We have a lot to dig our little claws into today. I'm going to hit the chat right now. And thank you guys for being here on Tuesday. As always, if you like what you see, subscribe, like, join the Patreon, all that typical YouTuber jargon. I'm going to start making the silly faces for my thumbnails like I'm really surprised. Right? That's how you know I made it as a YouTuber, is when I start making stupid faces. Hey, I'm not going to hate on it. People with stupid faces get clicks. That's what you're after, making faces. Okay, so let's dig in here to the chat and see what we got. Tyson Moore's in the house. Josh is in the house. Randy Heston is in the house. A lot of loved ones from Woodshed hanging out with us today. We had a great time at Woodshed, man. It was really, really great. Gary Payne says, are these some of the presets you posted yesterday? I'm assuming you mean in Patreon. Gary, these are the exact presets I posted in Patreon. And if you're having trouble with the delay settings, make sure you have your expression pedal hooked up to your fractal unit, because I am controlling the delay via the expression pedal. That's how it's written into the preset. So, another question. Flip says, how are you? I'm good. I'm great, baby. It's another day in paradise. Here we are. I got two different styles of water. I got still water. I got sparkling water. I'm trying not to constantly drink the energy drinks. Dude, it's the worst habit. I feel like a smoker. James Francis is in the house, and he's saying that Miley Cyrus did a great Led Zeppelin cover. You know what? She's done some great covers. Heart of Glass by Blondie. Man, she smashed that. Really great. You guys gotta check out some of these songs from her. What is it? The New Year's thing. Just, she was doing some Stevie Nicks stuff. Sounded great. Really sounded great. I think she's kind of aged well, because young Miley was, like pot leaves and these hair things, and her tongue's always out. I mean, just looking, hey, you know what? I'm not going to hate. I'm just saying not timeless. We'll say that. Very dated. And now she's looking real glamorous, and she's singing these legendary tunes and a live band. I think that's cool. I think that's really, really cool. One last thing about this week in music industry is wow, Sabrina Carpenter is having wicked success. I think she's got 4 or 5 songs in the top 10 at the same time. It's crazy. I think Sabrina Carpenter's got a really great sound on her records too. Very late 70s, early 80s. Some of the guitar parts even sound like the Dan Huff, Steve Lukather, Man in the Mirror type. What I'm trying to say, the watery kind of tones. Sabrina Carpenter. So check that record out if you're into pop music. I think that's a good one. Burger Flipper in the house. Burger Flipper, let me just say this. If you truly are a burger flipper, I want to salute you. I enjoy burgers. I enjoy someone that takes pride in making a good cheeseburger. Seriously. I'm not joking. It sounds like I'm joking. If you take pride in your cheeseburger, get the bun even, and the meat is even, and you put the American cheese on and let it melt. American cheese doesn't split on a cheeseburger. Burger Flipper, if you are that guy, I salute you, because I enjoy that. And he is saying it looks like the swamp is bubbling up, which I agree, man. It is just a wild, wild time right here. Okay. A lot of stuff this week in the past week and a half in the music industry. I think it's like, what am I going to talk about today? And I just like look around and I'm like, oh God, the house is on fire. Like everybody is like having the wildest week ever. Again, I think Dave Navarro is incredible. I think he's an incredible riff guy. I think he's an incredible song guy. Not enough good things to say about Dave. And I could tell that he really cares about his fans. I can really tell that. I've had some small exchanges with Dave. He's a gentleman. He is an incredible, incredible nice guy and an incredible guitar player, man. Don't ever, let me tell you this. I'm going to hold the microphone. Don't you ever sleep on Dave Navarro's soloing. He is a monster. He has all of the sass and all of the attitude, almost like Man Out of Time kind of stuff. Like you could have put him in Deep Purple in the 70s and it would have just been like, yeah, it's great. It's right there. It is. Dave Navarro is a monster soloist. Like total Jimmy Page school of rock guitar playing, man. He just got it. He's got the tone. He's got the chops. It's great. Okay, so here we go. We got some chat going on here. Sacred City and Dustin are talking here, and they're talking about the Satriani thing that is happening. Let me just chime in. It's all over the press. Oh, where is Burger Flipper? Dustin. Dustin says I have no clue about the Satriani Coldplay thing. Could I get a Cliff Notes version? Anyone in the chat? Sacred City's chiming in. There's a solo in the Coldplay riff from When I Used to Rule the World that Joe contends was his. In my opinion, it does sound a lot like him. The argument was, why would Coldplay be so oblivious? So that is a Cliff Notes version. It's not even just the solo. It's that is the Satch melody. Like that's the melody. Here's my opinion. Only my opinion. I may be completely incorrect. I would bet a healthy wager that Coldplay was probably going through a supermarket or in a hotel lobby or hanging out and hears Satriani's song on the radio and they're like, oh, that's a really good melody. Probably innocently thinking it was Muzak, just piped in house music, right? You know, that you can get in these collections on Spotify, ASCAP collections. They're just like nothing, like people flat rate kind of background stuff. I bet that's how they thought, and they didn't think it was Joe Satriani. And they wrote the song When I Used to Rule the World, right? I think that's what happened. Okay, so Dustin saying, thank you, listen after the stream. Yeah, take a license to it. Yeah. Take a license, or take a license to that. Take a listen to that. Take a listen to that, Dustin. And you'll see the motifs are freaking close, man. Carson saying those stems all need to be licensed. Here's Chuck. Chuck saying, well, that's the problem, Carson. That's when it's a stem. The Flowers song is not a sampling. It's a modified, I don't know what you would call it. Chuck's saying it's an interpolation. Not interpretation, interpolation. Ironically, Bruno is the king of push and interpolation bordering on infringement. I 100% agree because Bruno will get it real close to Sting. He'll get it real close to Prince, Michael Jackson, and all this stuff. So, Miley did that to one of his tunes. But the melodies are freaking spot on. Even the lyrical content is right there. So they're obviously, now we've got the wrinkle comes because we've got a third player with this tempo music. Those guys now are involved. That's where the wrinkle is. It was just Philip and Bruno and whoever wrote the song and Miley's team. Hey, we're all good. It's cool. But now that you got a third player and those publishings, those ownings of that piece of the song is now in a holdings company. Shoot, dude, now you got a whole new set of problems. Michael Rizzo says, "Sup, Andy." I'm gonna say, "What's up, Michael?" Nothing. We're out here just watching all this craziness this week in the industry. Randy Heston says, AW, how was the race? It was good. The Indy, we did a gig with Gary LeVox because, you know, I got the thing where we're doing the the old Life is a Highway, Fast Cars. All of those songs have to do with cars. So, little back history. Scott Bruschetta from Nashville, Tennessee, is owner of Big Machine. He's done very well for himself financially. I think that goes without saying. A very financially set kind of cat. Loves cars. I too love cars and racing and all that good stuff. He's one of the main financial dudes for all of the racing in Nashville. He loves it. So Indy Grand Prix coming to Nashville. They're going to have some music there. They're going to have Tyler Hubbard. They're going to have Brentley Gilbert. They're going to have Gary LeVox from Rascal Flatts. So Gary's there. Gary has me on the gig. We had a good time for 5 songs. We only did 5 because we got rained out. So it was good for 5 songs. I drove to Nashville, set up, did 5 songs. That was it. So made some good money for 5 tunes, and that's just all there is to it, right? I'm getting a call here. Going to decline that call and get back with you when I can. Okay. Now let's get into the chat. Chuck is chiming back in. Flowers is said to be an interpolation of Bruno's song. Right, yeah, for Bruno. Yeah. We're getting all on the same page now. Burger Flipper is saying Bruno and Miley are about to collaborate on something big. They're warming up the audience with this thing. That's a good conspiracy theory, and we've seen that play out many times in the industry. Boy, the Lady Gaga collab, that song is a ripper. I'm a big fan of that. So if you hadn't had a chance to hear that, let me look up the name of it. I want to say it's called, let me just look it up. Yeah, Bruno collab. Yeah. Die with a Smile is the name of the song. And that thing just popped. That's Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga. I think that song is a ripper. I like it. A lot of cool, but again, it's like, man, you know, Bruno, he can make some good music. The guy's got the moving and the shaking in the songs. All of his stuff makes me feel good, makes me want to dance. I like Bruno, you know. I think he's got a sound. So, you know, I don't know for sure if Miley and him have a collab coming, but that's not a bad tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, my man. So Carson is saying, I was at the Rolling Stones rehearsal when they found out Anybody's Seen My Baby was a copy of Katie Lang's Constant Craving. To avoid the lawyers, Mick and Keith called her from the stage and offered her $5 million. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. That's really cool. Dustin says that Bruno and Lady Gaga song, though. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a smasher. Joe Ramirez is in the house. What about the whole Linkin Park situation? I think let them do what they do. That's another great one. Joe, let's talk about it. I have close ties to this scenario. Linkin Park, I don't know anybody in Linkin Park. I couldn't tell you one of those people. However, the drummer that they have hired, Colin, is a good friend of mine. I've known Colin for 20 years. Colin is a producer now, and he's worked with Papa Roach and some of these guys. Colin is a year or 2 younger than me, and he is now drumming for Linkin Park, which is bonkers. Good on you, Colin. I can't wait to catch up. Now, the other side of the coin is the hot button topic. Main man, I guess his name's Chester Bennington. If that is correct, I think it is. Let me just make sure that is correct. I think it is. But I don't want to paraphrase. I want it to be correct. Yeah, Bennington, not Beddington. Sorry, my apologies. Chester Bennington. I had that wrong. Chester was unfortunately the vocalist that passed away from Linkin Park. Now, they have hired a young lady named Emily to do the singing. Here's my connection to young Emily. Emily is super rocker. I've worked with her 2 years in a row on Shiprock Cruise. Me being the MD for the Stowaways. We've had Emily come out and sing. She sang Nirvana one time. She sang Seven Nation Army. It was rocking. Emily could throw down. Like, don't sleep on how hard she rocks. The hot button topic is people are mad because they're touring and they don't have Chester, obviously. And it's like, is it disrespectful? Is it not? Now, Matt, it's like people are also on the other side with Emily. Now, I'll be honest, guys. We see this a lot. We see it with, Alice in Chains. They can't tour with Lane because Lane's gone. But Jerry can do it, so they get another guy to sing the tunes. Is that the right thing or the wrong thing? I don't think the music should die with Lane. I don't. That's not how I feel. That's not how I feel about Van Halen music. I applaud Sammy Hagar and Joe Satriani. I'm actually going to do a video on that because I went to go to the concert in Nashville. Ed's gone, and he's the greatest of all time. You argue with me all you want. He's the greatest rock and roll guitar player of all time. There you go. I don't like the term greatest. It's not a competition, but he's the greatest. Like, Ed's the GOAT. Ed's Michael Jordan. He's Richard Petty, right? Like that's Eddie Van Halen. Okay. And he's gone. And there's a lot of people that want to hear Pound Cake. There's a lot of people that want to hear Right Now. And Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar make up half of the band that played that music live. And they want to go play those songs. They want to go play. Go play. You pay the royalties to Alex and the Van Halen family, and you go play the tunes. That's you're going to hear it in bars. People in bars are going to play Van Halen songs. So why can't guys that literally played with Van Halen play those songs? This is where I'm going with this. If you could go to a karaoke bar and you hear somebody singing I Become So Numb, Linkin Park song, should that immediately be off the menu? Should you not be able to sing karaoke to that because Chester's gone? Or Chris Cornell? So rock bands now cannot cover Black Hole Sun because Chris Cornell's gone? I think that's garbage. I think that's not cool to gatekeep music. Okay, well, we can't play Bach because Bach's dead. Like, that's crazy to me. 99% of the comments on my cover of Rooster are very, very kind. Very kind words. A lot of people really liking it. There's one or two comments of people telling me, you should never do this because Lane's dead. Lane would hate this. I'm just like, do you know Lane? Do you know him? I don't know what he would think. And if he hated it and he told me he hated it, I'd be like, hey, man, I'm sorry I let you down. But he's gone. Does that mean the music should be gone too? I don't think so. That's just my opinion. I think our job, if you want to use that word, as musicians who love the music that we love, is to curate the music that we love and keep it alive and keep it going after these guys have gone. I want to see somebody attempting to play Jeff Beck songs. I want to see people playing Van Halen solos. I want to see that. Keep that music alive. The music is what is their greatest gift that they gave to us. And to let it go, that's crazy. They can't play Bill Monroe songs because Bill's gone. Like, I think Ricky Skaggs has done a great job of being a curator of bluegrass music and keeping that torch lit. You know, these guys gave us that music. And Emily's stepping into Linkin Park so they can go out and play this stuff in arenas. And I don't see it as a cash grab. That's just my perspective. Maybe that's my naivety. Maybe I'm just naive and I'm not jaded. And I think, man, you want to keep that music alive. Should Avenged Sevenfold not play any of those things off those first 2 records? You know, because the Rev wrote that stuff, first 3 records? No, man, you got to keep that stuff alive, man. You got to play those drum parts. You got to. That's just, to me, that's not a cash grab. That's a celebration and a curation and an honoring of the gifts that those people gave us. The stuff that they left us with shouldn't just go away with them. That's what I think. That's my thoughts on the Linkin Park thing. I got a little deep just then. You can tell I'm passionate about it. I don't want it to sound cheesy or lame. Sometimes I do. But man, that stuff means a lot to me. You know? Okay, let's dig in here. That was Joe's comment. So Joe, thanks for a great comment. Josh is saying, did you get a chance to check out the new Steve Morse amp? I sure did. I thought it was incredible. Incredible. Like that little 20 water was absolutely cooking. I thought it sounded great. I'm going to get one. I think it was fantastic. Travis McCartney is saying there's a new Jack White Fender gear announced as well. I need to check that out. I haven't had a chance to check into that. Joe's saying, I remember when I started guitar, I'd come up with a riff, and then my friend would say, that's this or that's that. There's only so many notes. You know what? There's an intro to one of my tunes. I've got this song called Reach, and I wrote it. I'm a big video game guy, and I wrote it because of that last scene in Halo Reach was this ominous, there's no way to win kind of thing. And I came up with this. I think I played it on this pickup though. There we go. That sounds more like it. And that riff, I had somebody say, "Oh man, cool! I didn't know you like Megadeth." And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. I can't tell you. There's a Hangar song, Hangar 18, and there's a Tornado of Souls, and that's about all I know. And I can't tell you how they go. Like I'm not a Megadeth guy. Does that mean Megadeth sucks? No. Does that mean I think that people that listen to Megadeth suck? No. Does that mean people? It's like, no, man. I think there's some great players that played with Megadeth. I'm just not a Megadeth guy. You know, some people like tomatoes on their sandwiches. Some people don't. Right? I just don't want Megadeth. However, apparently that is very similar to a song that they have. I don't know what it is. I can't even tell you the name of it. But apparently I experienced that too, where it's like, oh, that's like this other song. Like I couldn't tell you. I think it kind of stunned my buddies that were bringing that to my attention because I'm a guitar player, and most guitar players really like, guys like Marty Friedman, right? And Dave Mustaine. And it's like, man, they're great. Their music just it wasn't something I listened to, right? I think you guys can tell that by the way that I play. I didn't grow up with that stuff or Slayer or any of that stuff. I mean, I can barely tell you the names of some of those Slayer songs. Something about an angel of death or something like that. It's like there's a raining blood right in that, and it's spelled weird. I think that's all I know about Slayer. Sorry, man. I just don't know anything about that stuff. Which is okay. I can tell you all the things you might want to know about Jimmy Olander and Diamond Rio, and I can tell you all kinds of stuff about Steve Morse songs and Eric Johnson songs. I can really help guide you in those worlds. That's the stuff I grew up with, right? Bill Monroe and stuff like that. Okay, so there's Rick in the house. Okay, so Sacred City, New York is saying, I like the story of when McCartney was like, let's cover that famous song, Scrambled Eggs. And the Beatles were like, what? And turns out it never existed. That became yesterday. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. It's almost like were they like multi-dimensional travelers and they had they found out something we didn't know and came over to our dimension and made all that history. Who knows? Okay, Angela's in the house. Angela, how you doing? She says, I was wondering how it was for you to meet Joe Satriani. It was spectacular. Spectacular. My first exposure to Joe Satriani was the G3, the original G3 video. It was Steve Vai and Joe Satriani and Eric Johnson. And I remember being like, God, all these guys can really play the guitar. They can really play. So obviously, like, so many people, I sit and learned many Joe isms, right? Kind of sat and learned all those types of things. So for Joe to hit me up on the old Instagram, say, hey man, why don't you come on out to the gig? Not only did I get to meet Joe, but I got to meet Peter Frampton. So Joe, I guess, had kept up with my playing. We are label mates now. I'm on BFE for distribution. Shameless plug. This is on BFE, which is the same label distribution that Satriani uses. So the world is getting smaller, and he invited me out, and I think he knows how big of a Van Halen, Van Hagar fan I am. I think if anybody who follows any of my channels, you've seen me covering, Pound Cake or Right Now or something like that, where I got really obsessed with the Wet, Dry, Wet stuff. All those things. Anyways, Joe invited me out. Man, what a hang. What a hang. And Kenny Aronoff was playing drums because Jason Bonham's family had a family emergency. So Kenny had to go in and learn the show like 36 hours, which is crazy. He was sight reading most of the gig. But, man, Joe was smashing. He smashed that gig. I'm going to save my thoughts for my video that I'm going to do on that, but he was killing. And the nicest guy ever. I think the funniest thing was we started talking about drills to do Pound Cake, because it's hard to find drills these days, hardware stores that aren't impact drills where they stop. Whack, 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 right? You got to have a drill that free revs when you let off the trigger. Kind of spool down, right? So, yeah, pretty interesting that our conversation led to drills. It's kind of funny. Okay, here we go. Going to hit the chat some more. Man, you guys are cooking over here right now. A lot of stuff going on in chat. I lost my spot. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there's Angela's comment. Woodshed Guitar Experience was a great time. Joe, thanks for being there. Thank you so much. You and your crew do an amazing job. Thank you so much. And we do have open ordering for next year's Woodshed Guitar Experience. We'll be announcing lineup as it comes to pass. So Dustin says, speaking of Linkin Park, okay, not really, but could you sample your Synergy stuff sometime? I heard Tremonti's using some of them now. I think the Synergy stuff sounds great. I will hook it up and do that. As you can see behind me, I have a couple of new items over here where you can't really see, but just out of frame, I've got a Shaw, and then over here, I've got a 2-Rock, and I'm going to do a Dumble copy shootout. I've got the Hedgehog, I'm going to do the Shaw, and I'm going to do the 2-Rock. We're going to compare those Dumble copies, which will be really cool. Carson says, Thornley should be the only singer allowed to cover Chris Cornell. I mean, dude, let me tell you, Ian Thornley can smash that stuff. Alexis is chiming in saying, spot on. Music shouldn't die. It should keep going, right? Yeah. Shade is saying, yes, sir. Seen the first tour here in Knoxville. Didn't miss a tour after that. Sammy here. These guys earn the right to play their music. Anyone has the right, it's them. Keep it alive. This is what I'm seeing. So you guys agree with me. That's how we keep these musicians alive. Play their music, celebrate it, man. Yeah. It's to me, it's like that. People giving you grief about the Alice in Chains cover. People need a new hobby. Yeah, I mean, well, whatever. There's always gonna be a hater. They're like, I would feel like I'm not successful if I didn't have at least a couple of haters. If you gotta have haters if you're doing something right. How many bands would not be bands if a member passed away? Right? That's right. AC/DC is a great example. People are saying rust in peace. Music is subjective. Yeah. Total high moment when I saw that for you. Yeah. Cheers, Jeremy. Thank you, man. Man, let me tell you, that picture with me and Joe and Frampton and Sammy Hagar, boy, that's cold chills. That is cold chills. Sacred City is saying there was a movie that came out last year where the Beatles never existed and one of the members, yeah, right? It's like totally that. Speaking of Morris, what Dregs album would you recommend to cut my teeth on? Love Cruise Control. Okay, if you're looking for a Dregs album, it's got to be Bring 'Em Back Alive. That record is a smasher. I absolutely love it. But if you're looking for a Steve Morse record, I would say High Tension Wires or Stress Fest. Both of those records are heaters. Absolute flame-throwing heaters. Yeah, so those are my Steve Morse jams. Man the Helm is in the house. Can't wait for the next Woodshed. So much passion for music, so much knowledge passed on. Thank you for the experience. Thank you for being there, my friend. Here's a funny story. So this is a good one. Me and Man the Helm have done some podcasts together. He has a great podcast. Go follow him. Go listen to his podcast. It's cool. He's had me on it, which was very kind of him. And we'd only ever seen each other through cameras, right? And, you know, sometimes you just never really dawn on people what people actually look like when they're not this big in the window, right? So I see a gentleman at Woodshed. He came, a bearded guy. He was having a good time. Always checking in with him. Man, how are you? You know, like Woodshed's a family style event, man. We got less than 100 people in this spot and you get to know each other really quick. It never dawned on me that it was Man the Helm. I just thought, man, this guy's having a great time and he's here for the classes and just vibing and feeling what we're doing. Never dawned on me. So apologies, official public apologies. I just didn't put it together. You just don't recognize people when they're not in their square. Like I'm looking at myself on OBS right here. It's like people, when you're not in your little square, you don't recognize them. Okay. So my knees hurts in the house, and he's saying I'm in a hotel this week for work. Pretty sure they have a dial-up internet connection. So much buffering. I'm sorry about that. Burger Flipper says, hey, dudes, how was the menu over at the Woodshed? I'm sure you could get a half-decent burger between all the lessons and jams. We do pretty good on food. I think the food at Woodshed's pretty nice. Michael has chimed in. Michael, how you doing today? He's saying What If and High Tension Wires. 2 bangers. Just 2 absolute bangers. Southbound Traveler says, I'm just joining in. Have you given your thoughts on Dave Navarro as a guitarist? Any favorite moments in his playing? Dude, let me just drop some moments of Dave Navarro on you. One Hot Minute, Chili Peppers record. My Friends is the acoustic ballad on that record. It is so beautiful and so well written. Okay, the other one, obviously Aeroplane. Just the funkiest, strattiest funking around. Dave Navarro, anytime you catch him playing any kind of Zeppelin riffs, it's going to be rocking. But let me give you my favorite record that he was on. Jane's Addiction, Strays record. And specifically the song Wrong Girl. That is filthy. That riff and that attitude is absolutely filthy. Highlight, if there's like, oh man, you don't know who Dave Navarro is, you got to listen to Strays. That record is so good. It is so great. Now, of course, you got the old stuff, Ben Caught Stealing and all that stuff, but man, Strays is it. Okay. Shade is saying Pantera is a perfect example. They're carrying on the boys' music Obviously, you got Vinny and Dime, and with guys who actually love to play it, right? Yeah, that's it. You got to keep it alive. Is there a suggestion box for guests for Woodshed, or is next year all lined up? It's not lined up. Simply email Woodshed. Go to woodshedguitarexperience.com, contact them, put your suggestion box in. You can always just let me know who you'd like to see, whether it was on Instagram or on Patreon or any of that stuff. Let me know. I have a pretty good vote on who we bring to Woodshed. Okay. Shredder a la mode says, can you speak on the importance of diversity? You're in my top 5 based on this. Oh man, thank you. I think it's super important to have a wide spectrum, a wide palette of musical taste. And I think that comes from just being a fan of music. Like if I went out and somebody was playing a bunch of Bob Seger tunes, I would know those Bob Seger tunes. I love Bob Seger, right? If I went to a rock club and somebody does, a Soundgarden tune or an STP tune or an Alice in Chains tune, I will be fired up. I love Alice in Chains. One of my favorite bands. That would go for things that you might not expect. Like, I think one of the most beautiful pieces of music is Nessun Dorma. Turandot. I think it's Turandot. Is the opera. Pavarotti singing that is spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. I would say that like the things that I love, I genuinely love Flatt and Scruggs music. I genuinely love Bill Monroe music. I genuinely love bluegrass. And when I play country chicken picking, I didn't learn chicken picking licks to impress other guitar players. I learned chicken picking licks because I genuinely love Brent Mason and Jimmy Olander and these guys. Like, this is just stuff that I love and I wanted to dig into. Tony Rice, I didn't go about it for any other reason than it spoke to me. Eric Johnson's music spoke to me. Van Halen spoke to me. This is stuff that I just genuinely enjoy. And making sure that you're giving yourself a wide enough range of options to listen to. Like you just heard me say, I like that new Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga thing. Don't gatekeep pop music. There's some great stuff out there. Lady Gaga is fantastic. Bruno Mars records are fantastic. Like, there's good and bad in every genre of music. And if you have the opportunity, search out the good. Don't be that guy that like, pop music sucks. Durr. That's just like old man yelling at a cloud. Don't be that guy. Find pop music that's fantastic. That Sabrina Carpenter record, that's got some hooky stuff on it. Her voice is nice. There's some great production in that. There's some great stuff in pop country. People are like, oh, I don't like bro country. Like, dude, you're not even saying anything. You're just repeating buzzwords, right? There's great music out there. I'll tell you right now, if you want to know who's coming up in the scene that I think's fantastic, Zach Top. That kid has got it. He's 26 years old. He is slinging Telecaster. He's singing. He's got the mustache and the Wranglers and the big white hat. He's awesome. Don't put barriers on yourself, right? Don't put barriers around yourself that I hate jazz. Jazz sucks. Like, that just tells me that you're a closed-minded individual. I'm not saying you got to get up in the morning and put on Coltrane or you're not well-rounded. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, like, there is some great stuff out there. Like, maybe you don't like a lot of bebop. Maybe you don't. But I guarantee you, if you put on that Coltrane version of these are a few of my favorite things, that is just smooth. Put on St. Thomas by Sonny Rollins off the Bridge record. That's a good one. Man, that's a good one, dude. That's a bouncy little island jam. You're probably going to like things if you sift through it. Look for things. Don't be closed-minded. I think that's how you become diverse. That's how you become well-rounded. You don't become well-rounded by going, okay, Andy said I got to listen to Sonny Rollins' The Bridge or I'm not well-rounded. No. Go listen to some stuff. Put on jazz. Put on Spotify. It's like you have the entire collection of music in the palm of your hand. Just put on Louis Armstrong and see if there's something in there that speaks to you. And if it does, learn it. It's like I really like that. I had it the other day. I'm not going to be able to. I mean, I just put on Sam Cooke stuff because I like it. And I just try to start figuring out how to steal some of it, how to get some of it in my flavor. It's really not a cerebral thing for me. It's a passion thing. It's just music that I like. And man, that right there doesn't sound anything like Hot Wired or Free Range Chicken or Welcome to the Jungle. But all that stuff's awesome too. My man JS right here is saying, I'm headed to Disney next week. I want to listen to Master Gracie's Manor during the Haunted Mansion ride. Cheers, man. We got some fun stuff coming with Master Gracie. That's going to be the next music video. And definitely Tim Burton inspired on that music video. I hope you guys are in for it. We're going to try to get it out around Halloween, so it'll be pretty nicely timed. Shade Hope says, Rick Beato dropped a Jerry Cantrell interview. I will be watching that. I can't check that out. Or I can't check it out right now. I can't wait to check it out is what I'm trying to say. Shredder a la mode says, Chris Poland is so talented, very down to earth. I actually really loved his band Ohm. O-H-M. Chris Poland's band Ohm. A lot of really white hot picking in that. So yeah, we're kind of closing in here. I've went a little over, which is it's 4:08 right now, and I'll be grabbing a couple of lessons here with folks from Patreon. So guys, it was a great hang today. We will be doing next week will not be happening. I will be in Europe next week, and I will be at the Guitar Summit in Mannheim. And then I'm going to jump over to France for a couple of days. So next week will not happen. We might just throw the stream on next Thursday when I get back, Thursday or Friday. Guys, hit the like button, of course. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to do some traveling, and I'm excited, man. Next week's going to be a big week, man. There's going to be a lot going on. Stay tuned to the channels. I had a great call with Chuck today. We will be bringing you some merchandise, shirts, and hats based on this stuff. If you've got some piece of art from this record that you would love to see on a hoodie or a hat or a shirt, let me know. We'll make it happen. That's what we're here for. So with that said, guys, everyone have a blessed week. I look forward to seeing you when I get back, and updates from the road will happen. I'm going to Seattle with Skank Banger. We're hitting the road, baby. We're going to Seattle. We're playing the Muckleshoot Casino, and then we'll be flying back, and then I'll be flying over to Europe. So it's going to be a busy week. Looking forward to next year's Woodshed already. Guys, jump over to andywoodmusic.com. If you're looking for the fractal patches, they will be for sale over there probably by the end of the week. If you want them immediately, go to patreon.com/andywoodmusic. They just got posted over there. There's a folder there. They work on FM9 and AXFX 3. So if you're looking for those, go get them. And then if you just like what I do and you want to keep the lights on, you want to keep the lights burning around us, and you want to keep the music flowing, think about throwing $5 in that old beer bucket at patreon.com. And if you want to hang out with us tomorrow night in our master class, jump in at the $25 tier. We'd love to have you. It's a good hang. And with that said, everyone, be blessed. See you soon.